Well, good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Excuse me. And today we are going to look at a beer that is the new seasonal from a big company. I've actually heard some things about this beer that have made it sound like it actually could turn out to be really well. Well done. This is from Rickard's, which is a Molson Coors product. This is the Red IPA. So, Rickard's Red IPA is 5.7% alcohol by volume. Now, red IPAs are becoming more and more popular. Basically, you're taking a red ale, so a maltier base, and adding hops to it. Some people have called that an American Red in the past. I don't know if American Red is actually a designated BGCP. I haven't looked in my booklet since I did a. Yeah, I haven't looked at my BGCP booklet since I did my last beer awards, which was months ago. So I don't know if that's actually a recognized style or not. But now lately, a lot of the American Reds have been coming out as red IPAs, and yeah, I'm not 100% sure what I feel about it, but who even cares what I feel about it? Is whether or not the beer is any good. It is by Rickard's. People get pissed off about that. They're like, oh my god, it's a big company, how are you going to drink it? Well, you know what? I don't really care who makes the beer, as long as the beer is good. Case in point, I really do enjoy Stiegl Radler. I really do enjoy Rickard's Radler. I really do enjoy a lot of Sleeman beers. I really do enjoy Bourbon County. For anyone that ever says don't drink a big guy's beer, I don't ever want to see a Bourbon County in your fucking hands, you fucking hypocritical bitch. Do I have problems with the big guys? Yeah, I have problems with some of the things the big guys do. But if the beer is good, the beer speaks for itself. It's all about whether or not this beer is good and worth my money. So let's get into this beer and let's try it. Now, I haven't had any samples sent to me by Molson in a long time. They would send some things to me every once in a while. But I don't care if the beer is free or I paid for the beer. I'm going to think of it as I paid for the beer. So if you send me a beer and I don't like it, I will tell you that. I really don't care that it was sent to me for free. So I'm just saying that because some people are going to be like, oh, are you going to be easier on it because you got it for free? No, I actually bought this. I brought in $15 worth of empties 2 days ago to the beer store to clear my empty stash. One of my wife's friends, her kids are doing a fucking bottle drive to raise money for a charity. Underage kids doing bottle drives for charity kind of makes me giggle. But she came to me and goes, they want to take all your bottles up from now until January 10th or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but I'm returning these ones first because I kind of need the money to buy one or two beers, mattering how many the beer store has. Because I'll never put any of my actual money into the beer store. They only get money from my deposits. Whatever they give me back is what I'll spend there. And all they had was the red IPA, so I only spent, $2.75? No, it came to $3, I think. So I spent $3 of the 15, left with 12. Bought some Christmas stuff. It was an okay thing. So the head, the camera might show it from over there. Let me move my shoulders. A little bit of an off-white head, almost like an eggshell white. The beer, though, is almost as red as the can. Not quite, but almost. Like, that is a red IPA. I mean, it is what it says it is. I actually really enjoy the look of this beer, to be honest with you. I really do enjoy it. Visually, I love this beer. Put it in a goblet or something, or a grand service, or anything like that. Even a fucking super thistle. Actually, a super thistle this would look amazing in, because a super thistle was made for a Scotch ale, and this kind of has that Scotch ale look to it. Time to give it its smell test. Okay, kind of get like a little bit of Cascade. Yeah, kind of like a Cascade, like a grapefruit and gummy. grapefruit and gum, like almost a Hubba Bubba. Yeah, grapefruit, Hubba Bubba, and a tiny touch of molasses out of the can. Out of the glass, which should smell quite a lot like the can since this isn't a tulip or anything. Okay, out of the glass I'm getting really rather nothing. So, visual appeal, awesome. Scent, leaves something to be desired, but it still doesn't smell bad. It just doesn't smell as good as a lot of other IPAs would, even macro IPAs, like Sleeman's IPA has more scent than this does. Let's try the beer, though. Cheers. You know, there's going to be a lot of beer bloggers and everything else, because I've read a lot of stuff from what people said. They're going to hate me for this, but I'm pleasantly surprised with this. Do I think it's something staggering? Do I think that it's an innovation from Molson? No, not at all. I don't think it's a staggering beer. I don't think it's an innovation in macro brewing, because Sleeman has done more in-your-face beer than this for a long time now. Alexander Keith's has done its one hop series for a while now. It isn't in your face or anything like that, but I mean that's perfectly fine. This reminds me a lot of what we call the Ontario Pale Ales. I know nobody's going to care about it or turn it into that, but Rickard's Red IPA kind of reminds me of an Ontario Pale Ale, such as what Anheuser-Busch now has in the Labatt takeover of Mill Street with the Mill Street Tankhouse Ale. I don't think it tastes the exact same. I just think that it would fall into the same category, that more malty but hoppy, and not really hoppy but with hop flavor pale ale. Now, it's not cold. It's been sitting on my table here since I bought it 2 days ago. The basement is a little chillier than upstairs, but I mean, I keep my house... It's winter time now, so I keep my house at about 18 degrees upstairs, so we're probably sitting at 15 or 16 down here. So it's not warm per se, but it's not cold at all either. So there's nothing being hidden, and there's nothing offensive about it at all. There's some molasses, there's a bit of caramel. Then a bit of grapefruit, both like grapefruit skin and grapefruit flesh. So you're getting a little bit of that resiny bitterness, as well as just a little tiny touch of just somewhat sweet bitterness. Finish is nice and clean though. I mean, you get that little bitterness emanating after your swallow for a few seconds, and then it kind of fades to nothing. Excuse me. That's... Oh, excuse me. It burps a lot more than I expected it to, I'll give it that. But that's actually quite a nice little beer. Again, I'm pleasantly surprised in it. Do I think it's something that I would go out and buy all the time? Excuse me. Fuck. No. I don't think it's something I would go out and buy all the time, only because of the fact that I just don't care enough. It's not something that blows me out of the water. I could buy Double Trouble's Hops and Robbers. I could buy Mill Street's Tankhouse Ale. I could buy... I could buy Old Tomorrow's Canadian Pale Ale. There's just so many IPA / Pale Ales I could buy. This is just the only one that visually really looks like that for me. And it's probably the most approachable red IPA or American Red Ale that I've had in a very long time, because it has everything it's supposed to have. It has that full frontal malt attack, and then it has a hoppy flavor in the back end, and the hoppy flavor isn't overpowering. I really like this beer. I don't know what else to say other than I really like this beer. I'm actually surprised with how much I like this beer. Out of 10 on this beer, fuck, 1 second. Cheers. You know what? I'm going to give that a 7.75. I have absolutely no problems with that. I could buy it again. Wouldn't go out of my way to get it. I don't think it's something that makes me want to go and get it. But it's good enough that I could buy it and be happy with my purchase. It's good enough that I could recommend somebody to try it. And whether they like it or not, be happy with the recommendation. Because I know I'm not recommending something that's way overpowering or way underpowering. I'm just recommending a beer. Yeah, 7.75. There's nothing wrong with this beer. People are going to hate on it because it's made by a big guy. People are going to hate on it because it's not in your face. People are going to hate on it because it's not their beer. And people are going to love it because it's Rickard's, even if they don't actually love it. So you're going to have love and hate on both sides of the spectrum, be it craft beer or macro beer, for no other reason other than just cause. And that's fine. You guys want to be that way, you be that way. But it's not a bad beer. It's not a great beer. It's not a bad beer. I like it. And I'll drink it again. And if I wasn't giving my empties to Christy's friend, I'd buy some more of them. Thank you guys for watching and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.